Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the Call of Duty off-season. It's that strange time of year when the current game is pretty much old news, the new game is right around the corner, the betas are all finished, and we're all just kind of sat here waiting to see what's going to happen next. Well, thankfully, late last night, Treyarch decided to give us a blog post where they gave us a glimpse of what the future holds for Black Ops 4, and there is a lot of great news to go over here, guys. It's gotta be said though, there is still some bad news, which we will be discussing towards the end of the video, but for right now, let's kick things off by discussing their mission statement in regards to Black Ops 4 and all the awesome things that they have planned for us. So Treyarch has said, and I quote, that Black Ops 4 will deliver a new level of community support and engagement that goes beyond anything we've ever done before. Whether you're surviving the final circle with quads in Blackout, fighting to take control points in multiplayer, or defeating an endless horde of zombies, we want to hear about your experience. Communication is the key to making Black Ops 4 the best game we've ever delivered. So right from the get, it seems like that's going to be some pretty good news, right? Say what you want about Sledgehammer Games and say what you want about COD World War II. I know that game is super controversial here in the community, but I think most of us can agree that Sledgehammer Games did a really good job when it came to customer support and when it came to working with the community. They made countless changes to the game based on community feedback. They overhauled entire systems. They basically rebuilt the entire multiplayer experience based on fan feedback, and that is something I think they should always be commended for. Like, say what you want about the game, whether or not it was your personal cup of tea, that's perfectly fine. We're all entitled to our own opinion, but I think we can all agree, especially those of us who actually played COD World War II, that the support Sledgehammer gave it was absolutely phenomenal, and it seems like Treyarch is going to be doing the exact same thing with Black Ops 4. Now, going back to their blog post, which once again is linked down there in the description, Treyarch went on to say that their goal with Black Ops 4 is to deliver a steady stream of content to the entire community. This means that post-launch, they're going to be giving out a bunch of free content for everybody across multiplayer, zombies, and Blackout. Specifically, they said they already have several new specialists in development, with the first new one coming to the game in December. They said that Nuketown, which we already knew about this, but Nuketown is going to be coming to the game for free for everybody in November, and they also said that Blackout is going to be getting a ton of updates. According to them, the Blackout map and the Blackout rules that we see at launch are just going to be the beginning, right? They're going to be supporting the Blackout community heavily with map updates, map expansions, and new game modes that will all be free for everybody. When they say they're also going to be changing up the rules, that says to me they're going to be changing up the circle closing speed, they may change up the player count, we really have no idea, but they did say that events are going to be making a return this year, so we're going to have a lot of seasonal events and time-limited events that will add not only new game modes, but new content to the game, which sounds pretty awesome, right? In my opinion, events are some of the coolest things that we've had in Call of Duty in a very long time. Like going back to Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered and Black Ops 3 kind of to an extent, and of course COD World War II, in my opinion, the events are some of the best aspects of those games. It always gives you something to look forward to, and it seems like Black Ops 4 is going to be doing the same thing, which is pretty good news for everybody. So all in all, everything they mentioned in this blog post is incredible. Like Black Ops 4 sounds like it's going to have an absurd amount of content in it, and a lot of that is going to be post-launch content that everybody can have access to, which sounds pretty good. It seems to me like Black Ops 4 is going to be basically their first attempt at a games as service Call of Duty game, which is kind of what we see most other games doing these days, right? Drifter mentioned in his recent video, which is hilarious by the way, if you guys haven't seen it, he literally summons Vonderhaar to his, it's really good, check it out, I'll put a link to it down there in the description, but in that video, he mentions how there isn't an Overwatch 2. Right? There isn't a Rainbow Six Siege 2. There isn't a CSGO 2 or a World of Warcraft 2. All of these games are what is called a games as service model, which means they constantly update that one game with new content, and they make a bunch of money because of that, because people are willing to buy that content for a game that they already like. This all sounds good, right? I'm excited that Call of Duty is finally going to be trying this, because I've said time and time again, I would love for COD to release one massive multi-year game, but there's still one catch. Right? There's still one catch to this entire situation, and I think you guys know exactly where I'm going with this. Black Ops 4 is currently set to release in 22 days, and Activision has not said a word about the Black Ops Pass. It really seems like regardless of all the backlash, regardless of all the negative press and the news articles and everything else, they are going forward with the Black Ops Pass. Now, to be fair, it seems like they're going to try to offset a lot of the pass by releasing a lot of free content updates alongside it, which we discussed here in this video, but it can't be denied how much content is going to be locked behind that $50 paywall. At the end of the day, it's Activision we're talking about here, right? It's always their decision, and they are always going to go with whatever makes them the most money, regardless of what the fans want or regardless of what the developers want. It's been widely speculated for a very long time that Activision is basically pulling all the strings, right? They're always responsible for pretty much anything bad that happens in the Call of Duty series, and for the first time, we actually got to see a glimpse of that happening, right? For the first time recently, we were able to see a glimpse of what is actually happening between Treyarch and Activision. So, most of you guys already know this, but David Vonderhaar sat down to answer some questions in regards to Blackout with Game Informer. I'll put a link to the whole video and the whole interview down there in the description. It's actually pretty hilarious. I highly recommend it if you guys haven't seen it yet. But in there, he keeps on saying how he has no say whatsoever when it comes to how things like supply drops and DLC models are handled. He also goes on to say this, which I thought was really interesting, so I would like to share it with you guys.
How many names did you guys consider before you landed on Blackout?
Many. Publisher considered many names.
Okay.
We had one that we liked.
You like Blackout, though?
I'm happy with Blackout. I
Good
like
middle ground?
Life's challenging and requires compromise and negotiation.
So from what we can infer here, Treyarch really was set on a certain name for their Battle Royale mode, but Activision pretty much forced them to change the name to Blackout because that's what they wanted to call it, and there wasn't really much Treyarch could actually do about it. It actually seems like Vaughn is sad right there. Like, it actually seems like he's legitimately sad that they forced them to change the name to Blackout because they really liked what they were going with it, and I think that's a great example of just how much influence Activision has over the Call of Duty dev studios. So, for better or worse, it seems like they are going forward with the Black Ops Pass here in Black Ops 4. Now, in the grand scheme of things, this isn't going to be much different than any other Call of Duty DLC season. I mean, a lot of people buy the Season Pass regardless. The only difference this time around is you have to buy everything up front without the ability to buy a la carte map packs, which is definitely going to turn off a lot of fans. Like, there's going to be a zombies map that comes out, and you're only going to want to buy that zombies map, but instead of being able to buy that map, you have to buy the entire thing and get access to a bunch of stuff you don't want to have, and of course it's going to divide the community. So it's gonna be the same thing, man. It's gonna be the same old COD DLC model that we've always seen pretty much, and I suppose we are going to just have to wait and see how it plays out, man. I mean, a price drop may occur. We've seen several talks of free DLC weekends and free DLC events where all Black Ops Pass content is available to everybody. And of course, we now know that Treyarch is also going to be supplying us a steady stream of free updates and free content for everybody. So I don't know, guys. I have no freaking idea anymore. I just wish Activision would get with the times and drop that archaic old model that cuts content from the base game and divides the community. Like, that's the big thing, right? Whenever you see those DLC models and you see that they're cutting off all these different zombies maps and multiplayer maps, you always have to wonder, it's always there in the back of your head, did they cut that from the base game? Because when it came to COD World War II, we saw exactly that. Like, all of DLC 1's maps, if you guys don't know, for COD World War II, those were in the game files ever since the beta. Like, they could have been there in the base game, and we only had 9 maps at launch. Like, that all could have been there, but they cut it from the game to repackage it as DLC, and so now we're going to wonder, are they doing the exact same thing for Black Ops 4? It's a bad situation, man. It looks like we're going to have at least one more year of the Season Pass, but keep in mind, guys, that the backlash that the pass received definitely made a lot of waves. When you look at Star Wars Battlefront and all the backlash that game got, the changes weren't immediately felt, right? But future games were definitely influenced, so much so that EA is pretty much doing away with all loot boxes and all paid DLC in pretty much most of their games, right? So it's possible that the same thing may happen to Activision after Black Ops 4, but then again, we're talking about Activision here, so I suppose we are going to, as always, just have to wait and see how things are going to play out. But regardless of Activision and their DLC models and their business practices and what have you, it seems like Treyarch, who are kind of the good guys in this situation, it seems like they have a lot of awesome things planned for Black Ops 4, and I'm personally very excited about that. As somebody who really enjoyed the multiplayer, to an extent, there are definitely things I did not like about the multiplayer, but of course I did post a lot of reviews here to my channel, so go ahead and check those out if you guys haven't already. But as somebody who generally enjoys the multiplayer and was blown away by Blackout, I think it's going to be a pretty good year for Call of Duty, so I would love to hear what you guys think down there in the comment section below. How would you personally, so far, like now the betas are all done, how would you personally rate Black Ops 4 on a scale of 1 to 10? Will you be playing the game? Will you be picking up the game? Do you plan on getting the Season Pass? Like, what are you going to be doing with Black Ops 4? I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Ladies and gentlemen, don't click away from the video just yet because we have some breaking news I would like to cover here at the very end of this video. So this video covered the blog post that Treyarch gave us as well as the news in regards to the Black Ops Pass, but while I was editing together this video, some news came out from Charlie Intel. I'll put a link to that down there in the description along with everything else I discussed here in this video. There are rumors going around right now, and keep in mind as of this recording they are just rumor, but there are rumors going around that Treyarch is going to bring the Blackout beta back online. Now these rumors are coming in from these various live streamers who are actually working very closely with Activision and Treyarch. They actually did some sponsored live streams for Blackout this past week, so these guys seem to be working very closely with them, and they're hinting on their streams that Blackout is going to go live yet again. As of right now, we have no official word whatsoever, but I want to make sure you guys are aware of this because it seems like they may actually bring the beta back online, and I've said time and time again, but it makes so much sense from a business perspective. Like, what better way to get those pre-order numbers back up than give us like a month-long beta of Blackout leading up to the full launch of the game? That seems like a pretty good idea, and it seems like they may actually be doing that. It was reported by Charlie Intel, which is a very reliable news source here in the Call of Duty series. Like, they have so many inside sources when it comes to pretty much everything, so the fact that they reported it seems like it's credible information in and of itself. But then, of course, we also have all the teasers coming in from the live streamers. Once again, links to all that down there in the description. So I'll keep you guys posted with more details as they become available. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Time for the actual outro. If you did enjoy the video, please drop me a rating, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.